Have you ever been skiing? I mean, if you have, please raise one hand so I could see. 在座的各位有谁曾经尝试过滑雪吗？有体验过这项运动，请举个手看看好不好？滑雪，看来并不是很多。Well, it seems that there's not so much of us who tried that before, but I'm guessing many of us here are coming from the southern part of China. And tell me, who from the south can really say no to stone and ice? But now, let me ask you something even more crazy. I mean, has everyone here ever tried to ski with your eye mask on? The reason why I asked this question can be traced back to 2018. One day, I saw a poster at my school, and it was a bilingual student reporter selection program for the Beijing Olympics. As a curious explorer who basically been excited about almost everything, I just go sign up immediately without hesitation. And after that, I then again start to look for the info sheet for details, and I realized something. Sorry. It's not about only Olympics. It combines both Olympics and Paralympics. And suddenly, I froze. Hey, wait, what is Paralympics? I mean, as a fourth grader, I have no idea what is that. So I just quickly looked through the handbook and I got an idea. But let's pause here. Anyone here knows that Beijing actually held a Paralympic game 3 years before? 大家知道我们北京在3年前其实是举办过一场残奥会的吗？知道的举个手好不好？ That's a lot, right? Yeah. So Beijing did actually held a 2022 Winter Paralympic Games last year. 3 years ago. And that was what I'm actually experienced for. But by the way, before that, in 2018, for the student reporter selection program, I have to introduce an event, either from Winter Olympics or Winter Paralympics. So no doubt, I just picked the Paralympic alpine skiing. What is that? You may have the question, saying, what is alpine skiing? That's pretty simple. You basically ski down for a mountain with a 1,000-meter drop, and then dodging flags and turn at extreme speed. The fastest athletes could exceed speed over than 140 kilometers per hour. That is considered one of the most dangerous events among the whole entire Winter Olympics. But then, imagine this. What if the skier is visually impaired? What if they can't see nothing when they are still racing down a mountain with a 1,000-meter drop, and they're still reaching speed over 140 kilometers per hour? But this time, they can see nothing. They can't see the obstacles ahead. They can't see the flags ahead. They completely rely on the guide, a voice guide, the skis beside them, showing them the way. Till today, I still couldn't believe how they actually managed to complete such a race. I mean, I wouldn't even dare to ride my bike down a small slope with my eyes wide open. But I want to understand this sport better. So I said to myself, hey Lawrence, why don't you just try to ski on a flat ground so that I can experience what that looked like? And I still remember the expression on the ski instructor's face when he had this crazy idea. He's stunned as if I'm so crazy. Honestly, I had zero experience about how to ski. So I spent several minutes to learn the basics, and then I just put my eye mask on. At that moment, the world I know disappeared. Things I could see with just a glance. Paths, obstacles, wide open spaces, people in front of me. They're now so unreachable. They're so far from me right now. I mean, the route in front of me is now turned to a series of vague instructions. The instructor just say, hey, turn right, continue, left, right there, turn left. But hey, what is right? What is left? Where is here? Where is there? Where am I? Where should I go? I feel I was missed. I lost myself in a world with no reference point. Even when the instructor gently guided me forward, I was still full of fear and hesitation. Terrified if I might just go crash to someone else, maybe trip over a pitch of ice, or just eventually fall down. Outside, the world was noisy and lively, but the world I could see is so quiet, completely still. My fear grew even stronger as I tripped over. And then I fell. After my third fall, because I couldn't see what was coming, the instructor finally came here and took my eye mask off, saying, hey, stop, okay? just stop. Don't do that anymore. Nobody could do this. No more of this nonsense. Yeah, I admit it was really hard for me, but well, nobody could do that. As I observed, those visually impaired athletes actually did it perfectly well. That was a story I first experienced as a fourth grader. A world that was completely new to me, a world I have never experienced. Sadly, when the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics and Paralympics finally arrived, they took place right in between the middle of the pandemic. So I couldn't be there in person. But luckily, I still joined several online conferences hosted by the organizing committee. And I still remember one feeling, one moment, so clearly. A Paralympian competing in biathlon was answering the question. By the way, biathlon. Biathlon is a combination of cross-country skiing and shooting, which you're going to ski for a few kilometers and then shoot the target. Yeah, it's already hard enough with sight, and imagine doing that without sight. Now, he says something I'll never forget. He says, human can't breathe underwater, but someone still learn how to free dive. I may not be able to see my target, but I'll always find a way to reach it through my other senses. Yes, I've trained hard, but then again, show me one Paralympic or Olympic athlete who hasn't. And yet, even now, even today, there are still so many people who have no idea what is Paralympics. Even today, tactile pavings are still being blocked by trash or bikes. Even today, guide dogs are still struggle to be accepted in hotels, and even today, the world of people with disabilities still feel distant from ours. As a high school student, I know there is only so much I could do. I mean, well, I may not be able to change their life, I may not be able to change their world, but at least I could let them grow to be seen by hearing by more of us. Because maybe seeing is where empathy begins. And maybe seeing, maybe, is where changes begins too. Well, to understand the world of our disabled friends better, I invited a group of friends to join me to something called the Dialogue in the Dark. Well, it was a space with absolutely no light, so we just step into the world completely without sight and experience that daily life might feel like through someone else's lens. The fear of skiing without sight come back again. The fear of uncertainty, the fear of unknown was so terrifying, and I had to fully rely on the tactile paving that guided me forward. And I remember the feeling. I remember the feeling that when the path ended, but I still hadn't reached my destination. The moment when I was supposed to head to the post office, but I'd already lost my sense of direction. Even something just as simple as picking a piece of fruit. I mean, just by its smell and shape, drain my focus and energy. But for those who have lived without sight for years, it's almost seemed effortless. I mean, some could tell who was nearby just by the rhythm of their steps. And then, during a casual conversation, I learned that one of the blind guys actually loves rock climbing. So naturally I asked her, hey, if I could join you for rock climbing next time, and she says, why not? Quick question, has anyone here ever tried rock climbing? 大家有攀岩过吗？攀岩。Now, imagine doing that without using your eyes. Well, after skiing with an eye mask, after experiencing life in the darkness, I found myself now climbing also with an eye mask on. At first, I climbed normally with my eyes wide open. Every time I looked down, seeing just how far I was from the ground, the fear of height just creeping. But once I put on the eye mask and started awkwardly reaching my hands and feet, my world suddenly narrowed to just a few small contact points around me. The ground was far away. I don't know. I don't care. And frankly speaking, I have no way of knowing. For a moment, the world just felt simpler. Without the vision, I found myself also free from distractions. Maybe the unknown has its own kind of peace. But No, 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 no. I'm not saying that life for someone with visual impairment is easy. Quite the opposite. After experiencing such things, such movement in the dark, my respect and admiration for them only grows stronger. Still, every life has both joy and hardship, and I don't want to tell their story as they're only made of tragedy. They love, they cry, they live fully. They may lack certain senses like sight, but they excel in others. So, no, I don't think we should approach them with pity or sympathy. I hope we can meet them with sincerity and the willingness to see them truly. To open a door to a group of people that is not broken, not tragic, but simply different. A group of life and full of strength who have walked through the darkness and still choose to smile. So then, what exactly is Paralympics? What is Paralympics? To me, para simply means parallel, a celebration that runs alongside Olympics, an event just as important, just as powerful. The people who compete in Paralympics live lives that runs alongside to others, to ours, to everyone's, equally full, equally meaningful. One person's life is a single line, but together, we are millions of lines, trillions of lines, parallel lines stretching forward. So my hope for all of us is this. May we see more of these lines, see more lives, see more possibilities. Because when we truly see those lines, we begin to understand the beauty of differences. And perhaps that's where connection begins. Thank you, Lars.